Hello guys, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be doing a video about school. Yes, I know, you don't bloody like it. Sit down, silent. Put your hand up if you want to talk. No, school's not that bad. I'm going to be teaching you how to school. And if there's anybody out there who wants to go into high school and you don't know what it's like, then here's the video for you. Don't mind me staying on my shirt. I've just had jacket dated cheese and beans. So, yeah, that's what we're going to be doing. Let's sit down first and then let's talk about how to school. Now, before I get into this video, this is totally my opinion. I am not an expert in school, never had any teaching experience. This is just my experiences, what I've gone through in high school, and hopefully I can teach the younger generation what it's like going up into year 7, then going through to year 11 and moving on and so forth. So, let's give it a go. Let's talk about it.
Brilliant, you've made it through year 6 and now you're going on to the quote unquote big leagues, high school. You're moving from year 6 to year 7, and that leap is probably one of the biggest leaps you'll do up until year 11 to college, but we won't get into that just yet. Save that for a rainy day. Year 7, it's scary. There's a lot of things that change. Majority of the time you'll be moving into a school that has a higher population, meaning there's a lot more people, a lot more teachers, a lot more staff, and sometimes that can be really overwhelming. I remember when I was moving into year 7, the year 11s that I knew, they had beards and tattoos and big ass muscles, and hair were growing out of places you wouldn't even believe. But we won't get into that. But in all fairness, it is a very scary thing. You'll be used to primary school where you have one teacher and that teacher will teach all of the subjects. In year 7 and high school, you'll have majority, about 10 teachers, even sometimes more, sometimes less, and they'll be teaching the majority of different lessons. You'll get something like this piece of paper here. I don't know if it's digital. I left school in 2020, so it could be different. You get a piece of paper here with your timetable on. It'll tell you your classroom, it'll tell you your lesson, tell you who it's with, and if you're ever stuck to find where to go, just ask somebody. There's nothing wrong with asking. You're not a nerd, you're not a triad, you're not all these words kids like to use. You're just someone who wants to learn. And in year 7, that's what it's about. It's about learning the school, what it's like, what the teachers are like, what the lessons are like, and taking that difference between primary school and high school. It could take a while to get used to. It took me a while. And remember, primary school for me, I used to bring match attacks cards, the football cards, and I used to play with my mates, and you go to school with them little folders, and all you'd have in it is a thin book, and that's it. But then you move to high school, and you've got to think about ties, and blazers, or jumpers, and all these GCSE books, and it can get overwhelming. But for year 7, it's all about fitting in and getting used to it. You're settling into a brand new school. Everybody's been there. And they've all said the same thing. It is nervous. It's nerve-wracking. It is. Because it's something new. You're not used to it. Nobody can ever really prepare for year 7. Which is why I'm making these videos, to maybe help you understand what to expect. Quick one, school dinners. It's different in most schools, but when I were in schools, it were a fingerprint. And on that fingerprint, you could top up some money. When you're in year 7, in your first few weeks, I think you'll be able to do that. It's obviously very different for different schools, but make sure you get your fingerprint sorted and you get some money on it. If not, and obviously financial situations get involved, then just ask your mum and dad if you can sort something, or anyone who's a legal guardian, and they'll get something sorted. And for me, year 7 is it's where school is, for me, fun. And not to say that school's not fun, but it's the year that you you do have to take it seriously, because everything you do in school, for me, adds up. If you mess about from day one and you're not a good student and you're not there to focus, it's going to be really difficult to do it the later on as you go. I always thought to myself, and I messed up. Year 7, 8 and 9, I messed up. I misbehaved them 4 years because I thought, oh, it's alright, I'll wait till year 10 and year 11. And in actual fact, it was worse because I had more work to do in year 10 and more work to do in year 11. And then I didn't have time to do it, obviously because of COVID. I left school like that and couldn't finish my GCSEs, so you have to prepare for everything. So in year 7, for me, it is a fun year because realistically what you do, it doesn't have a major effect on your GCSEs, but I'd say just get your head down. Do you know what I mean? But the main thing for year 7 and school as high school in general, socialising. People struggle with it. I personally don't. I can talk to anybody. I don't mind. I like people. I like to talk to people. Hence the reason I'm talking to you right here. I like talking to people. But there's kids in school who sometimes struggle with that. And when you get into school, you'll realise everybody has their own table. Groups. And in American movies, you know, you've got your jocks, your nerds, your popular girls, your popular guys, and in a way it's kind of like that. I don't like the word nerd, but you certainly have the kids who care about the work more, and then you have the football lads, the rugby lads, the popular girls, and you'll have them different societies and different ways in which people like to live their life, and they'll have that similarity. It's just all about you. Finding what you like. Who do you want to be friends with? Who do you want to mingle with? And kids will be nice sometimes. But most of the time, kids may not be the best. I found it hard finding friends because of my hair colour, of my weight, the way I looked. And throughout school, you'll get kids who judge you for that, and they'll take the mickey, and most of the time it's jealousy. When I grew up, I realised it was jealousy. They don't have a certain thing that you have, which makes you unique, because we're all unique. We all have something that someone doesn't have. And there's a little bit of jealousy in us all, you know. I used to look at the popular lads in school. I wish I could play football like them. I wish I could run up and down the fields at PE and not have to worry about my bloody asthma. I wish I could do that. I'm jealous of that. But I wouldn't go out of my way to be mean to them because they've got that and I haven't. Some kids do that. But if you look at it from more of an adult's perspective, sometimes kids are mean because there's something going on, underlying. And when you get older and you start to realise people deal with things and you may go through something, you'll realise that we're all dealing with something, and whether you bring it to school or you don't, that's up to you. Sometimes people will. Kids will be mean, some kids will be friendly, but it's all about you. And if you're ever uncomfortable about something, there's always someone to go to. And I know what they always say, don't grass, don't tell anyone, don't tell the teacher all the time. Dwell with that. If you're uncomfortable about something and you're not happy, tell someone. It's better to tell them early on so that something can get sorted. And if it doesn't, then maybe get your legal guardian, your mum, your dad, your grandma, somebody else involved. And then the solutions can be made. You know? I can't remember the countless times I've seen on Facebook of parents putting on Facebook saying, oh, my kid's getting this at school and they're not doing anything. And sometimes there are schools like that. But if you put the work in early and say, look, I'm not happy with this, I need things to change, stand up for yourself. It doesn't mean you have to go up to them and punch them. It doesn't mean you have to fight everybody. It doesn't mean you have to, do the age-old mum thing. If you hit them once, they won't ever do it again, because it just makes it worse for you, because you're getting put into isolation or detentions, and then you're missing out on lessons, and they're getting the last laugh. So do something. There's always something to do. Bullying is horrible. It's one of the worst things ever. But look into it. Look into why people do it, and look into what people are trying to take the mickey of. And you don't for a second change yourself because someone doesn't like it. Okay? If you're doing something that's not hurting anybody, if you've got a certain hair colour, if you look a different way, if you've got a different skin colour, or if you speak differently, if you've got a lisp, if you've got crooked teeth, if you've got eyes that come all the way over here, or if you've got ears that point out like an elephant, it doesn't matter. You're not there for that. You're there to socialise. By all means, make as many friends as you can. The more friends you make, the better. But you're there to learn something, so that you can take those skills to go into the workplace and build your own life. That's year 7. You learn something from the beginning. Let's move on. Okay, you finished year 7, you've got a good couple of mates, and you're doing it. You're on to year 8. Now it's starting to get a bit serious. Not too serious, but it's starting to get serious, because this is where exams and maybe GCSEs are starting to get brought into it. Everything you've now learnt from year 7, the knowledge from the lessons, you're bringing along. It's all about passing it along. So anything you've learnt from English, maths, science, geography, whatever, history, anything you take an interest in, bring it along with you into year 8. And in year 8, you want to start to think what you want to do in year 9. Because in year 8, most of the time, you're picking your GCSEs. I did it in year 9, but some do it in year 8. But you can still have a think of it early on, so then you're not panicking. Have a word with the teacher. Find out what lessons are in your school and what you can choose for GCSE. Sometimes they'll have you, I think it's 3 GCSEs, but one of those GCSEs is usually taken up by a language, which could be French, Spanish, German, Latin, Italian, anything like that. It's taken up by that, leaving you 2 GCSEs, and you can either pick between geography or history, I believe. Don't quote me on it. It's how I did it. We picked between geography or history. I didn't do a language because I came into a school on a managed move, which means I was brought out of another school into another school midway, so I couldn't do a language. So I did drama, photography, child development, and I chose geography as my main one. Didn't do history, couldn't stand it. But each to their own. If you like history, if you like geography, go and bloody do it. Okay, so inquire with your teacher, make sure you're getting your GCSEs sorted out, and you're choosing something to do, and then put your all into it early on. Because how easier is it going to be when you pull up to that lesson and you go to geography and somebody says, right, can you show me a map of Brazil? And you've got that full thing because you've learnt it and you know it because you've put the time in. School is all about timing. Everything you do is timing. You get to your lessons on time. You get to break on time. You get to see your mates on time. You do your homework in time. Timing is key. Again, learning you for workplace. If you turn up to work late, sometimes it can be a dismissal. Sometimes it can later lead to being fired, losing a job, and you're losing money. School is teaching you, if it's a good school, it's teaching you the skills, the little things you'll be prepared for when you move into the workplace. Let's move on to year 9. Okay, so year 9, you will have hopefully have chosen some GCSE courses. Say, for example, you've done photography and drama like I did. And whatever your school does, it's each to their own. You will have known about that. You've been in the school 2 years now, so you've started to learn how the school works, how to learn. Maybe you're getting a bit older and you're making more friends. Maybe you've got different friends. Everything changes in school. When you were in year 7 and then you're moving on to year 9, you will not be the same person. I can assure you, you won't. The things you liked in year 7 maybe will change in year 9. And everything you do in school, it changes because it's the way you are. You're changing. It's not you hate things from year 7. You're just changing, you're growing. And that's fine, that's normal. So in year 9, usually, choose your GCSEs, you've got them. You're starting the GCSE course because you're getting ready for year 10 and year 11 when you do your exams. If you're not happy with the GCSE you're doing, early. Again, like I said, timing. Get in early and say to your teacher, I'm not happy with the GCSE, I'd like to choose something else. Give it a chance first, but make sure it's something you love. Most of the time, people will go into a GCSE class because their mates are in there. But what happens if you fall out with your friends and you don't like the GCSE? You're in a lesson you don't really enjoy, you're not going to benefit from it because you're not going to do anything with it in a couple of years' time, and you're just stuck. Do something you want to do. You'll see your friends at break or lunch or when you go home and go out and play. But this is you. It's your story. Do what's right for you. Okay? Year 10. Okay, now it's starting to get a bit serious. You're getting closer and closer to year 11 and your teachers may be blabbering on about your final exam, in your exams. I feel like a lot of that is pushed into us when we're kids. Exams. And it can be really stressful. It really can. Imagine you've got 10 lessons. You've got your maths, your English, your science. Then you've got your geography. Then you've got your 2 GCSEs. Then you maybe have a language. Then you might have something else that you're doing after school. And each of those lessons could have homework for an entire week. And then you've got to think about exams. And that can be really overwhelming. It really can. Prioritising and organising things early on can make a massive difference. I'm going to give you some tips, really quick tips. Any coursework you have, get a folder. Get a folder. If your school doesn't provide it, it's cheap. Go to Poundland, go to B&M, get a folder for each lesson that you have. Maths, English, science. Get that. You've got your 3 there. Get a folder. Mainly, your school sometimes might provide it because it's paperwork for GCSEs. Get them. Get them straight away. Keep them organised. Keep everything dated. Keep everything labelled. And then you can look back and think, right, when I'm doing this work, oh, I've done it before, so let me learn from that. And then it's easier in your lessons and you're learning more. Then come your exams, you're prepared. It's all about preparedness, all about timing, all about organisation. I can't even speak, I'm just going on and on. Organisation. One of the best things. Get a bloody folder. And I know it seems absolutely grueling. Your mates could be out there partying and they're doing things after school, and it can be really annoying knowing that you're sat in doing homework, but you're putting in the work because it's important. Everyone says, yeah, don't get me wrong, whatever you get on that paper at the end of year 11 doesn't define your life, it just makes it a bit more difficult if it's not the results that get you to different places. If you're putting in the work in year 10, really working hard, year 11 will be a breeze. And it's not easy for everyone, but for me, I put the work in year 10. And year 11 for me, easy. It felt so great. I felt like on top of the world. I was the oldest in the school, and I just loved it. Loved it. Being in year 11 is absolutely fantastic. And yeah, like I said, year 10, get the bloody work in. Take initiative and take advantage of homework clubs if you can. If you can't do your homework at home and you're struggling, and I know what it's like, home life can be really stressful. You've got dogs, brothers, sisters, cats, grandmas, and everybody's there in your house, and you might have a small house. Get some get some homework clubs in. Take advantage of it. Do your best. That's all you can do. Try. Year 11, to wrap it up, you've got your final GCSEs. Everything you've done in school has led up to this final year. A lot of pressure. There is a lot. There'll always be a lot of pressure. But please don't stress yourself out. It's really difficult in this year if you overload yourself and you're constantly overthinking about, oh, what am I going to get? I hope I get this. My life's over if I don't get this grade, and I need to do this. No. You've been in school from year 6 to year 7, 6 years. If you do it in total, you've had 12 years of academic life. Everything you've done has led up to that year. Every little detail, every paper, every bit of work, it's all led to this. So be proud that you've even made it to year 11. Be proud that you can say, I've bloody done it. And regardless of what you get in GCSEs, be proud, because you've worked hard. If you've done all the steps that I've said, and I'll do a final thing on the end of the video about tips, then you should be okay. Yeah? I just want you to enjoy it. Enjoy it while it lasts. Year 11 for me was the best but the most emotional year in school, because I knew things were changing and I wasn't maybe going to see my friends again. So like I say, every single moment in school, and you might think it's boring, bloody cherish it, because school, and I will say it again, is the best damn years of your life. I will add some tips at the end of this video for things you should keep up with or to remember for school. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Parents, kids, share this out. Thank you for watching. Get your heads down. I'm glad you made it through this entire video. I'm going to give you some quick bonus tips to remember in school. Number 1, have bloody fun. Everything you do in school is always pressurised by paperwork, papers, exams. Bloody have fun, okay? Make mates, do what you need to do, you know. School is, yes, it's about the exams, really. It's about passing an exam and getting on your bloody merry way and doing what you want to do in life. But for me, it's all about the friends you make along the way. Those friends may not last after school, and you may drift apart, and you may fall out, you may fight, but it's all about socialising for me. So make bloody memories and do things you want to do. Just don't misbehave, because it'll bite you. It will, tell you. Be organised. Now, I understand people have different financial situations. You might not be able to go out there and get the flashiest pencil cases and bags and stuff like that, but be organised. Keep your bag nice and tidy. Make sure you've got your equipment all the time. Make sure your planner is nice and clean. Put in your homework when you can, straight away. Get it booked in so you're prepared for it, so you don't get on the day and you think, oh, I've not done my homework because I've not put it in my bloody planner. We've all done it. I've done it. I know many people who've done it, and I know some people who just don't even use a bloody planner at all. They just chuck it in bin. Silly buggers. Like I said, get a folder. Get a bloody folder. If you can, folder per lesson. And if you want to, ask your teacher if you can keep the folder in their classroom, and 9 times out of 10 they'll say yes. Teachers love folders. Absolutely love them, because it shows you're organised and you're prepared and you're actually listening and you're keen to show what you're learning. Yeah? get a folder. And the final tip, the way you carry yourself, the way you portray yourself in school dictates your school life. If you're walking around like Conor McGregor and you're thinking everybody wants to fight you and you're acting a big tough man, you're not going to make many mates, are you? Not really. You might do, but they're just there because they're either scared of you or just want to be a bloody mate. But they're not mates. Walk around that school like a nice person. Be welcoming. Make friends. If there's someone on their own and they look upset, help them. Show kindness. If there's something in school that is offering you something, for example like prefect or class leader or something like that, and you think because the way you carry yourself and the way people look at you can't take it, don't listen to them. Do it, because it looks great on your report and it looks great on your CV when you get older. So take advantage of everything you can. Absolutely bloody smash it. Because no matter what you get on that end paper, if you've worked hard and you know you've worked hard, it doesn't matter what you get. Because you know you've tried your best. Wouldn't that be much better than saying I haven't tried at all? There we go. They're my tips. Thank you for watching.